Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into the absolutely staggering run rates we're seeing in the IPL 2026 season. It's a season that has completely redefined what we even thought was possible in T20 cricket. We're going to start by looking at a mind-boggling performance by a 15-year-old phenom who has the whole cricket world talking, and then we'll zoom out to examine a highly debated league rule that might just be fueling this entire offensive explosion.
All right, let's look at our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover this 15-year-old phenomenon, then see how he managed to shatter Chris Gale's record. After that, we'll check in on the orange cap race, then we pivot over to the structural side with the impact player controversy, and finally, we'll look at the BCCI's next move.
Section 1. A 15-year-old phenomenon and the 97-run explosion that stunned the cricket world.
So, let this number really sink in for a second. 15. Just 15 years old. Right when most teenagers are stressing out about their high school exams, Vaibhav Suryavanshi is out there literally dismantling professional bowling attacks on the world's biggest franchise cricket stage. It's just wild.
And that brings us to our next huge number, 97. Playing for the Rajasthan Royals against Sunrisers Hyderabad in a ridiculously high-pressure playoff match, this kid smashed 97 runs. Now sure, he fell just 3 runs short of a century, but the sheer impact of those 97 runs completely altered the entire course of the game.
But wait, here is the real kicker. 29. He scored those 97 runs in just 29 balls. That is an absolute masterclass in calculated assault. He unleashed total chaos, taking apart international bowlers like Pat Cummins on a flat Chandigarh pitch, and led the Rajasthan Royals to a massive 243-run total. Think about that. A score that used to be virtually unthinkable in a 20-over game is now reality. Section 2. Shattering Chris Gale's record. A new six machine emerges in Chandigarh. What really puts this into perspective is how it perfectly illustrates a changing of the guard. Look, Chris Gale, the absolute universe boss himself, hit 59 sixes in a single season way back in IPL 2012. And that record, it stood untouched for 14 long years. But now, Vaibhav Suryavanshi has smashed 61 sixes in this single season. He blasted 12 sixes in that one solitary match against SRH to just blow right past Gale's monumental milestone. The reactions across the sport have been, frankly, incredible. The god of cricket himself, Sachin Tendulkar, simply called it phenomenal. Even Chris Gale publicly admitted that a new six machine has arrived. Honestly, when the absolute legends of the game are left completely stunned by what you're doing, you know for sure you are witnessing history. Section 3. The orange cap race, dominating the run charts with unprecedented speed.
So how does this impact his case for the orange cap, which goes to the league's top run scorer? Well, not only is Suryavanshi leading the pack with 680 runs, but his strike rate is nearly 243. That means he's scoring over 2 runs for every single ball he faces. He is absolutely miles ahead of established veterans. Sai Sudarshan is having a fantastic season in second place with 638 runs, but his strike rate is around 158. Klassen, Gill, Kishan, they are all striking in that 150 to 180 range. This 15-year-old is just operating in a completely different stratosphere right now.
But this brings us to a really critical question. Is this just raw, once-in-a-generation talent from Suryavanshi, or has the game itself fundamentally changed this year? Because while his talent is obviously undeniable, we really have to ask if there's a broader systemic reason why IPL totals are suddenly soaring into the 240s and 260s across the board. Section 4. The impact player controversy, the rule fueling the offensive fire. To really understand this scoring surge, we have to look at the rules governing the game, specifically the highly debated impact player rule. This rule basically allows teams to substitute a player mid-match depending on the situation. In practice, it effectively gives chasing teams the massive advantage of playing an extra batter. You can just swap a bowler out for a pure match winner mid-game, which essentially lengthens your batting lineup and totally removes that traditional fear of losing early wickets. And the statistical outcomes of this, they're completely wild. Thanks to flat wickets and these extra batters, the game heavily favors offenses right now. Par scores have literally jumped up to the 220-run mark. We saw the Punjab Kings successfully chase down 264 runs against the Delhi Capitals in less than 19 overs. Sunrisers Hyderabad successfully chased 244 against the Mumbai Indians. Teams are pulling this off without even breaking a sweat. And as you might expect, this has led to some intense criticism from veterans of the game, like Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, who strongly argue that this disrupts the traditional balance between bat and ball. Section 5. The BCCI's next move, balancing entertainment,
high scores, and traditional fairness.
Facing all this intense scrutiny from the cricket fraternity, the BCCI's response is actually fascinating. Davijit Saikia, the BCCI secretary, offered a very specific defense of the current regulations. He said, everything is happening, it is a full bouquet in one package. They point out that fans are absolutely loving the entertainment. They argue that bowlers are still getting good wickets, and that if you look at the overall scorecards, some teams are actually still scoring low totals. So to the BCCI, the tournament is providing a diverse bouquet of both high and low-scoring games.
That being said, the BCCI has outlined a clear path forward. Step 1. They're going to conclude the current IPL 26 tournament without making any mid-season changes. Step 2. They are waiting for official requests. Saikia mentioned that while there's a lot of noise in the media, no team has officially asked them to revisit the rule just yet. And Step 3, if those official requests do actually come in from the franchises, they will conduct a formal review of the impact player proposition after the tournament ends.
Which leaves us with a massive question for the future. As 15-year-olds break historic records and 260-run chases become the new normal, will the league prioritize the traditional balance between bat and ball or embrace the sheer spectacle of the full bouquet? We have to leave you with this final thought. As the sport rapidly evolves into this relentless power-hitting spectacle, what exactly should be the future identity of T20 cricket? Take a moment to think about that. Thanks for joining me on this explainer today. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.